Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the dystopian edition. How is all this craziness impacting us? Before we dive on in, if you are looking to upgrade your mobile service, consider looking at Mint Mobile. I switched my plans to Mint Mobile after a couple months of testing. Ended up saving about $700 this year. So I'm doing that upper plan, $15 a month for 3 gigabytes because I actually only use a half a gigabyte. If you do need more, $25 a month for 12 gigabytes. And if you actually buy, the more of the plan you buy up front, the cheaper it gets. Those rates that I have there, I think those are the 3-month rates. So tlm.li/mm. Let's go ahead and dive on into dystopia news. Let's see how this crazy thing in the world back here. Ooh, look at the viral Illuminati. Very nice, huh? And so what's going on in the world? Like, this entire COVID situation is totally flipped the world upside down, people. I mean, look at what this did in a very short period of time. Mexico is closing the border with the United States. The liberals in California are buying guns. And I have to agree with Elon Musk. So Elon Musk, after, of course, this fun wave, now we had the tale of 2 barbers, of course, this last week, where one of them is arrested and thrown in jail for opening her store and feeding her employees. Although the governor finally came down and released her and slapped the judge silly, completely reversing his decision, while he released her out of jail and the higher Supreme Court in the land nullified the lower judge's ruling. But then we have, on the other hand, up in Michigan, where the police said, we're not arresting this guy if he fails to close his business. And so the governor worked behind the scenes to pull his business license and telling him, if you go in there, we're going to throw you in jail. I don't know what police are going to throw him in jail. Now the police are going to arrest the guy, and then we're going to fine you $1,000 a day for opening your business. What in the world is going on? But Musk comes down and he's like, guys, I'm reopening and I'm going to be on the floor. And if y'all want to say something about it, come arrest me. He sits there and defies them. And best I know, nobody's really done anything to him yet, because what are you going to do at this point? So it's like, okay, guys, it's no secret. I am not a fan of Elon Musk, but I have got to stand 1001% behind him on this, because what he's doing is he's actually saying, hey, guys, these are the facts. We're still operating on these doomsday projection models that we made when we didn't have any facts. He says these are the facts. The facts don't support that there's a huge deal for the average person. We're reopening. Come and arrest us. And by the way, guys, if you've ever worked in that type of industry, you are inherently intrinsically social distanced. You're inherently intrinsically masked. You're inherently intrinsically gloved, because you have to have good, clean, sterile environments. It doesn't make any sense that a car factory should be forced to close. All right. So Elon Musk has come down saying, hey, I'm opening up. Come and get me if you got a problem with it. Come and get me. Come and get me. All right. So on to our next story here. So Mount Sinai and Google are teaming up to use Nest cameras to remotely monitor patients. So here's a picture of the doctors here, and the doctors down here are monitoring all these patients using Google's cameras. Google Nest cameras inside the hospital that are watching the people, sending the data up to the internet, into a cloud, and then back down through the internet into the hospital so the doctors can monitor. Didn't Google really want to collect a whole lot of patient health data a little while ago? Having trouble with some people, like, I don't know if I really trust Google. And now they're like, hey, we got a solution for you. Just put the cameras in the room. We'll watch them for you. We'll listen for you. We can do everything. You can monitor everything from right here. So in-person checks on the patients are inherently risky, and that means using up valuable protective equipment, not to mention time. That might be necessary for urgent situations. Google and New York City's Mount Sinai Hospital have developed a safer approach. They're rolling out a new system that uses two per room, one to check on and interact with patients, and one to monitor the vitals. Oh boy, so Google gets to watch the people and the patient and the vitals at the same time. I mean, how much you want to bet that they're deploying AI to watch the facial expressions when the things go blip, blip, this is creepy, people. It's like, if I land in a hospital, I'd be like throwing stuff at these cameras. Just get these cameras out of here. No, don't monitor me. You want to monitor me, boy? You come on into the room. You come on into the room. I'm not giving my data up to Google. Oh boy. And so now we have with The Verge, Twitter is now introducing new labels for tweets with misleading information. Now, we talked about this briefly on the show yesterday. What is misleading information? Misleading information, oh, well, anything that disagrees with who? Well, the Centers for Disease Control, the official place in the United States, disagrees with who? Or are you following them and disagreeing with who? Well, what about when all of these guys, which, by the way, the Centers for Disease Control is an inherently political organization. It's not a scientific one. It's driven more by politics than it is by science. It's driven more by corporate money and donations than anything else. It's driven by a lot of other factors than just this. And by the way, yeah, I understand it's government funded, not company funded, but we have this giant revolving door that President Trump promised to close, but he just made it go faster, apparently. And so what we see here is that the politics involved in this, well, what happens when the Journal of the American Medical Association comes out with something that's somewhat inherently different than what they say? Is it misinformation because it came from the most prestigious medical association journal in the United States, well, in the world, really? I'm sorry, I want to agree with the Journal of the American Medical Association before I agree with the CDC on any given matter. But now Twitter wants to be the ultimate arbiter. We agree with what's right and what's wrong. And we are going to cause you to know, because we're going to mark things as fake or not fake based on our own individual rubric. What rubric are they going to be at, you might ask? Well, this is their rubric. You know, I was a teacher once in my past, and we had to have fun rubrics about grading policies. This is not a rubric. This is stupidity. Look at this. If it's moderate or severe, a rubric defines what's moderate and severe. If it's moderate, we put a bad label if it's misleading. If it's severe, it's removal. What is severe? Anything we disagree with. Unverified claim, it takes no action. A disputed claim. A disputed claim. Oh, so when a doctor on the front line of medicine disputes your claim, you put a warning. This is potentially dangerous. Or you give a warning for posting something that a frontline healthcare worker has actually suggested. This, people, is how they are shifting our viewpoints and causing us to think differently by providing to us the narrative that they want us to have. This is why I don't use social media. I don't use it. The reason I don't is because I do not want to be echo chambered or otherwise pushed into a specific talking point agenda. I don't want them to tell me what to believe. I want to investigate the information for myself. All right. So, we now have no Wired. I'm not interested in signing up for your crap. But the Hungry Rats might be, because the Hungry City Rats are looking for a new lunch spot near you. So restaurants have shuttered up. The rats who depend on the eternal garbage buffet are becoming more bold and competitive. Now the rats are coming in and looking for homes instead. You throw out the extras in there. Ooh, the rats are coming. The rats are coming, people. The rats are coming. So this is just yet another case. We've had an epidemic of the subway rats in New York City are climbing up and walking down the streets. We have some towns where goats are roaming the streets, and we got some places where roaming monkey gangs are making major fights in the streets, dueling over the areas because tourism has died out, people. That is how insane this is, people. That is how insane this is. All right. So this is crazy. But yeah, the rats are coming out, the mice are coming out, and they're going to be looking for your houses instead, because the restaurants are now closing out their official places. All right, so now on to a couple things. So Los Angeles Los Angeles, they're basically telling people, no, you're not allowed to go to work. No, you're not allowed to do anything. You're just going to have to get homeless. But don't worry, we're going to fund a homeless tent city. So LA wants a homeless tent city, declares it's going to be difficult but worth it. So, of course, you get the homeless people sometimes come on down and they're just kind of camping here. They want to make sure people have enough tents, and they're putting in separate locations, and they're like, all you guys that are losing your houses and life and everything because we're mandating you stay at home so that, because we're communist dictators or something. And so with all these guys coming through, we're going to take care of you guys. We're going to make sure you guys have a tent city to live in. Very good. Very good. Reminds me of some other camps that had been created for people that weren't allowed to do anything else either. But so you have a choice though. Do you want to go live, if you were booted out, do you want to go live in your tent city, or would you prefer the Doomsday Bunker? Because apparently there is a Doomsday Bunker community that is selling like hotcakes right now because of all this. So you can head on over. So this is actually the base of Black Hills in Fall River County. I guess that'd be South Dakota, I guess. Vizzo's has survival campuses in South Dakota where Tom and Mary live, and in Indiana. There is a down market bunkers cost roughly $35,000 each. So for $35,000, you can buy yourself a Doomsday Bunker. So if this is just becoming crazy, you're like, I'm going to quarantine anyway. I'm going to quarantine in style in a Doomsday Bunker. That's what I'm going to do, folks. Doomsday Bunker. So let me know in the comments. Do you want to go with Doomsday Bunker or city-sponsored tent city, or city-sponsored tent city? Give me your votes. Which one are you going with in this crazy, radical, weird dystopianness that's coming on out the pipeline? Let me know in the comments down below.